What's up, everybody? What is up? How's everybody doing today, man? You already know how it go. It is your boy B back with another video, and today we're going to be talking about something that I haven't really talked about too much, which is the phone flipping aspect, right? So all of my phone flippers out there, shout out to you. I'm going to be talking about iPhone 16 prices, and I want to update you on what the market is for iPhone 16. So if you are a phone flipper and you're somebody that is buying iPhone 16s, I just want to tell you, I feel sad for you because you have obviously not did your research. And I want to give a tip out to whoever wants to start flipping phones. So if you're somebody out there looking to start flipping phones, I want to give you a tip, okay? And the biggest tip that I want to give you is don't fall into the trap of thinking that you need to be buying newer devices, okay? Number one, you don't need to buy a new device. A new device and a locked used device in one transaction or two different transactions, you had to choose one. I would always choose a old used locked phone because and it used to never just be like that, because I usually would have, if I was flipping phones, and I'm a real phone flipper. And what I mean by a real phone flipper is I'm somebody that actually has paid my bills phone flipping. Somebody that's actually built phone stores phone flipping. Like, phone flipping is something that I do, literally. And I've taught people how to do it so that they can feed their family and feed employees as well. So what I would say is this: a used phone, right? One that is locked to AT&T, Verizon, T-Mobile, any of those places, is valuable. Okay, a new phone is valuable too, but there's a catch where we're in a generation right now where people are scamming and nobody has the time to put out $800 for an iPhone and it be a fake clone. Okay, that has happened to me several times. That has happened to mentees. And it hasn't happened to me in a long time because I am very cautious about buying new phones. If I'm going to buy a new phone, the way I operate is I have to open it. Now, the difference is if you're messing with somebody that buys phones and sells phones and they're trying to sell it to you to make a profit so they can go to another store, use a profile, or use somebody else's credit, they're not going to want you to open the phone. Let's make that very clear. They don't want you to open the phone. That's the number one rule. Okay, now if you don't know what I'm talking about, flipping phones is when you buy a phone lower than market value and then you sell it higher, right? But what happens is a lot of these people out here are putting out propaganda. They're like, yeah, if you want to flip phones, guys, use Facebook ads. Number one, Facebook ads does not always work. Number two, Facebook ads only work for getting you leads. Number three, the leads are not always high quality. Number four, if they are high quality leads, you need to know how to convert the lead. It's two different things, right? So let's say you do pay for an ad. You got to remember, in your area, literally right now, there's probably 5 phone stores putting up Facebook ads saying, I buy phones. So you are a regular entity and you may have lower capital than these stores, but you're competing with them, right? Now, it's two sides to this coin. The reason why a lot of phone flippers online are telling you to use Facebook ads is because when their method doesn't work, they want you to be able to, or only be able to, blame Facebook ads, right? Another thing, when you do Facebook ads, it makes it seem like you're actually getting traction because you'll get people saying, hey, I got this phone. Hey, I got that phone. But what does that even matter if you don't know how to politic with people and get their prices down? I don't ever pay the first price. I don't ever pay the first price for a phone. I don't ever pay the price anybody wants me to pay. I pay the price I want to pay. I put the investment down that I want to pay because I am the expert, not the person selling the phone. Okay? Now let me explain to you what I mean by the person selling you the phone is not the expert. So about 85% of people that sell phones in the market, whether it's OfferUp or Facebook, right? Now, Facebook's a bit different. Facebook has an older audience. Facebook has an audience full of like old heads, like people that just want to sell phones because it's collecting dust and they just need some money. OfferUp has the audience where it's like they hustlers. Like you got people that are going into stores, and I'm going to explain the whole way that people get phones in a second. You got people that are trying to sell phones to pay their rent. You got people trying to sell phones to take care of different bills in their household, or to invest in something else, right? So the way you have to really look at it is, if I was to like be in a room with you and be giving you step-by-step guidance on what you should be doing phone flipping, or how I would start on OfferUp. And I would start by making 10 offers a day. Okay, the reason is because OfferUp allows you to see people right near you, close to you, whatever mile radius you decide. And it allows you to be able to talk to them, politic, and meet up. Okay, and it's more of a younger crowd, so you don't have to deal with people not trying to give you information when you ask. Okay, so that's how I would really deal with this. Now, how do people get phones? Let's make this clear. Flipping phones is not a crime, but the majority of the phones that come through the ecosystem of flipping phones they're a little shady. Okay, that's just how it is. So I'm gonna give you guys some of the ways I know people to get phones. The number one way, no, I ain't gonna bring them that way. I'm gonna just say one way is people that have old phones and they just upgrade it. Okay, that happens. Like people get old phones and instead of just putting them in the drawer, they want to sell them. But then you have somebody, which is very popular, that uses profiles. Now, if you don't know what a profile is a person's credit. It is the person's address, everything you need to know in order to use their identity. That's what a profile is. And you have people using those. So they'll get a fake ID made. They'll walk into a store and they'll act like that person. They'll have all of that person's information and they'll act like that person and get the phone. Another way people go and they get phones to flip is they are standouts. So they literally sit outside of a store or they sit inside a store. Usually it's two people always. There's going to be a guy that's a driver. Then you're going to have the guy that's like the person on feet, right? So the person on feet is the person that stays in the store. And then he'll sit there and just listen for cues. And the cue is going to be like, oh, hey, how you doing, ma'am? So we ran your credit and you have to put down $300. So that person that's on foot inside the store would automatically tell the person in the car, hey, there's somebody that ran credit. They don't have enough money to get the phone. Let's offer them something. So what happens is they walk outside the store. The person in the car either talks to the lady or the person that's on foot in the store does. And they basically say, hey, I heard that you couldn't get the phone. Listen, let me help you. I'll help you get the phone. And the way I help you get the phone is by actually paying for that. All you have to do is you got to make sure that you get me at least a phone or two. That's how it works. Okay? And then another way is guys finessing females. Okay? Or females finessing guys. I don't really see a lot of females doing this unless it's with their significant other. But the guys like to go on dating apps and use other girls' credit. That is a way they do this too. Okay? So flipping phones, you're dealing with a lot of people that are getting these phones in a not legitimate way. So let's just make that clear. The difference is you have some people that say, well, Brandon, I don't want to do this and get locked up. Well, listen, the reason I know about all of this is because I actually care about where the phones come from. I'm very intrigued, and I'm somebody that wants to always get better. So I'm always trying to figure out what y'all got going, right? But not everybody needs to know where these people get their phones. You don't got to ask them, hey, where you get your phone, right? You don't have to do that. That can be something that you just happen to just not ask. And if you do ask, it's still not your fault because guess what? You're buying a phone and you're doing a business transaction. Now, one thing you don't want to ever do is just sit on the phone. You don't want to sit on the phone. If you sit on the phone, you're tripping, okay? I know a guy in Cherry Hill, New Jersey that got like 2 years just because he brought so many phones that he didn't realize 2 of them had a iCloud. And I guess the people were doing a little find my iPhone thing, and they went to his house. They called the cops. Cops arrested him. And they didn't arrest him just because he had those 2 phones. They arrested him because he had a bunch of phones, like a lot of phones. We're talking about maybe 150 phones. Like, he had a lot of phones, right? So they just insinuated that he was a criminal, okay? And I don't know the logistics of the case, but he got locked up, okay? So that's like the little rundown on how these people are getting their phones. And the reason I did that rundown is because we're going to do a couple things today, okay? I'm not here to stay on here for a long time because I got to put my kids to bed and all that, and I got to do all of that and chill. I'm tired. But I wanted to come on here to actually do something and show you guys something. All right, what I want to go over first is I want to go over what overseas buyers are actually sending me personally, okay, on iPhone 16s. This is a real life personal price list right here. Okay, YouTube, you're about to see it. TikTok, y'all can't see it, but I'm gonna read it for you. Okay, if you want to watch me on YouTube, TikTok is Educated Hustler on YouTube, or Hustler Taught Me, all one word on YouTube. Okay, guys. But all right, so, and the link is in about. So, right, we have iPhone 16 Pro Max locked, iPhone 16 Pro locked, iPhone 16 Plus locked, iPhone 16 locked, iPhone 15 Pro Max locked, iPhone 15 Pro locked, iPhone 15 Plus locked, iPhone 15 locked. Now, why are these all locked? So here's the thing. When it comes to these iPhone 16s, we're really seeing a massive increase of people selling these phones locked. The reason they're locked is because people are getting them out the store. Not a lot of people are buying iPhone 16s out of Apple, doing an insurance claim, getting one phone, and then returning another for it to be unlocked. Like that little scheme has fizzled from what I hear in the streets, okay? So you're going to get a lot of people selling locked iPhone 16s. Now, you have a bunch of different types. You have 256, 512, 1 terabyte for the iPhone 16 Pro Max. Now, I want to really show you guys how these overseas buyers operate. So you see sealed, non-activated, activated, no box HSO. Okay, so no box HSO is basically going to just be a phone with no box. Okay, it's literally a phone with no box, but it's a new phone. Okay, activated is a phone that is going to be activated from a carrier. Now, a lot of people don't realize this, but they think, oh, well, if I don't turn the phone on, it's not activated. That used to be the case, but it's not that anymore. Now, once they scan that device into the the POS system at the store, it's activated. Sealed non-activated is a rare phone that you'll come across, but again, that is a phone that was not rung out. So I'll tell y'all this: I've had people get phones right out of AT&T's safe and come to my store and sell them to me, and they were sealed, not activated. Okay. Typically, there's like AT&T employees that are about to quit, or T-Mobile employees that's about to quit, and they'll just take phones. That's just what it is, right? Now, the iPhone 16 Pro Max 256 is $710 for sealed and activated. So why are they the same price? And you'll see a lot of these are just the same price. So sealed and non-activated will be the same price for these devices because these devices are always activated. That's the point. See, a lot of people, they'll try to finesse you and say, nah, it's not activated. I ain't turning it on. But it doesn't matter if you didn't turn it on. If it was scanned, it is activated. So we see that the iPhone 16 Pro Max 256 is worth $710. We see the iPhone 16 Pro Max 512 is $820. We see the iPhone 16 Pro Max 1 terabyte is $890. Now, I'm going to go over how we actually make an offer and like what I would offer for these phones, because I would never offer $710 for an iPhone 16 Pro Max 256, right? The reason I wouldn't is because that's what the buyer is paying me. But you never offer and you never ever settle for, let's say that the buyer's paying $710, you never settle for $705 or $700, right? You got to, in your mind, always have what you want your profit to be. Now, the normal seller, their profits are going to be at least $50 per phone. Now, you have a lot of people that try and say, well, my profit is $20, right? It's just because I get a bunch of phones, so I don't really need a high profit. No, it's because they don't know how to negotiate. There's no time I can even think of where I took lower than $50 to get a profit. So that means the people that are selling me 4 phones, I'm getting $200 profit every single time. Okay? That's how I operate, because there's a lot of work that you have to put in to meet up with somebody to buy a phone. I'll be damned if I'm finna go meet up with somebody for a phone and I'm only making $40 or $60. You got me messed up, or $80, right? So iPhone 16 Pro Max. Oh, no, iPhone 16 Pro, locked. So 128, 580, 256, 670, 512, 740, 1 terabyte, 800. Okay. Now, the iPhone 16 Pro is a phone that's pretty good to buy, but I want you to see the iPhone 16 Pro Max is $710. The iPhone 16 Pro is $580. Why the heck is it a hard drop? Why is it so distant from each other value-wise? Because the 16 Pro Max is looked to be the premium phone, and the iPhone 16 Pro locked is going to be more so like the middle tier. Now, this right here is a peasant. This phone is a horrible phone to buy and purchase. It's the iPhone 16 Plus, right? So I don't know if any of y'all got an iPhone 16 Plus out there, but that is a phone that people don't buy, okay? That is one of the least popular phones because the iPhone 16 Plus is big like the Pro Max, but it only has the iPhone 16 features. That's why. It's no need. It's just a big phone for no reason, okay? The iPhone 16 locked. 128 is $400. 256 is $480. 512 is $540. Okay? Now, why are the iPhone 16 Plus and iPhone 16 so close together? Because, again, the iPhone 16 Plus is not a good buy. So if you're somebody out there that flip phone, I would tell you right now, if you're flipping phones, do not buy the iPhone 16 Plus. Okay? And if you do, buy it at a low cost. So now I want to break down how I come up with my offers and what my formula is, because a lot of people, they have trouble with this part. They got trouble trying to figure out how to make offers for phones. Now, you need a price list. Now, when it comes to a price list, I tell people all the time, if you're going to get a free price list like Atlas, understand that that is not a buyer's price list, because buyers don't give away prices for free. I'm going to say it again. Buyers don't give away prices for free. Now, you might be like, Brandon, what the hell are you talking about? Okay, just stay with me. While buyers don't technically make you pay for a price list, let's say you met a buyer off of Craigslist or something, right? What they do is they tax you. The only way you don't get taxed is if you pay your way. I learned that very, very quickly in the phone flipping game. So let me explain. If this price list was free to me, instead of the iPhone 16 Pro Max locked being $710, it probably would be $730. It'd probably be $750. See, oh, excuse me, no, I'm going the wrong way. It'd probably be $600, and they'll probably instead want to offer me like $690 or $650. Now, the reason is because they're going to get their money anyway, okay? But places like Atlas, which is a free price list, is not a wholesale buyer. It is a refurbishing company. It is a lady company or a sister company to a distributor that sells phones to phone stores. That's what it is. So they're giving you the price for phones based on what they value them to be. But the difference between a wholesale buyer, a wholesale buyer. We ain't get to wholesale seller. I'm tired, y'all, so I'm sorry. A wholesale buyer is the wholesale buyer is going to literally give you the price that the market deems the phone to be valued as. So if I did not pay for this price list, I would be getting taxed. The reason I always paid for all of my price lists is because I want the buyer to know extremely invested, and I want to get the lowest margins taken off of my prices possible. Okay, that's why we have our own phone flipping price list at hustlertaughtme.com full of 50 buyers on one price list. Okay, now let's talk about how we come up with offers. So what we do, then we're gonna do a live quote for somebody too. Okay, we're gonna do a live quote. Y'all gonna help me. All right, so let's stick with the theme of the iPhone 16 Pro Max 256. So let's say we find that on OfferUp. We find an iPhone 16 Pro Max 256, and let's say the person wants, I'm gonna do a realistic price. Let's say the person wants, they got it listed for like $850. Okay, but we already know that the market value is $710. Okay, so let's dumb it down. This person wants to sell their iPhone 16 Pro Max for $850, but it is only worth $710. What should I do? See, if you deal with other phone flippers that say they're phone flipping and they tell you need Facebook ads, you'll get somebody like that telling you, hey, I want $850. And you like, well, I only can do X amount. They're like, well, whatever. And they go to the next person with a Facebook ad. But see, if you know this tactic I'm about to teach you, you'll be able to close every time. So that's what you do. You say, okay, the market value is $710. So I'm going to put $710 in the calculator, 710. And then I'm going to subtract what I want my profit to be. So I always want my profit to be $50 or higher, right? So we're going to say 50. So we're going to subtract 710 from $50. And we're going to make $660. So $660 is the most I can spend on this phone. Get me? So I know if I go over $660, I cut into my profit, and that is a non-negotiable. We don't cut into our profits, okay? Then I know, okay, well, if $660 is the most I can offer somebody, cool. Now what I'm going to do is, before I even talk to the person and try to bring up this price, I need to create some wiggle room. I need that person to feel like they can negotiate me up. Because if I just sit with $660 and they say no, then I'm at a dead end and I seem desperate, because now I know for a fact I can't go over $660. I'm cutting into my profit. We do not cut into our profit. When you cut into your profit, you literally are losing money and you're not going to be respected. So what you do is you say $660 minus, I do $40 as wiggle room, and then $620 is the price that we would initially offer for that phone, and then let him work us up. But he only can work us up to $660. After $660, what I do, if let's say he didn't want to sell me the phone after the $660 offer, I say, oh, okay, cool. Listen, well, here's my number. My number is blah, 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 blah. Contact me if you change your mind. If you don't, cool. If you have any other phones, hit me up. And now you wait for that person to text you. Then when they text you, you save their number as a lead. And now every time they get phones, they're going to text you and say, hey, I got this phone. What can you do with this? I got that phone. What can you do with this? And that is the residual income. Okay? That's how it works. All right. So we're going to move on to the next thing. So the next thing is that we're going to actually be giving somebody some quotes. Okay? I have a guy that asked for some quotes, and I wanted to save this video because there's all iPhone 16s. So I want to show you guys how I look up IMEIs. I want to tell you exactly what my mind frame is and exactly what buyers would pay for it, okay? So we have and it looks like these are all HSO, but they're not new because they have grades. Okay. Anyway, so we got an iPhone 16 Pro Max 256. We got an iPhone 16 256. We got an iPhone 16 Pro 128. And we have another iPhone 16 Plus 128. Okay, cool. So, boom. What we would do is we would go. Let me do this. We would go back to that picture that I showed y'all, that price list, and I'm going to pull it up. Okay? I'm going to pull this price list up. And I'm also going to pull up the spreadsheet. So this person has a perfect spreadsheet. He has the device, IMEI, grade, packaging. Perfect. Okay. Now we have the IMEIs. I'm going to go to sickw.com. Sickw.com is the way I check IMEIs. because it's fast and reliable. Okay, so we're gonna type in the first one. I'm gonna go to Apple basic info. We got 3, 5, 6, 1, 5, 7, 7, 4. All right. So now we're gonna check this. Hopefully I put it in the right way. So now it checks all of the information for this IMEI. TikTok, I'm gonna read it off for you guys because I know y'all can't see. All right, so it says iPhone 16 Pro Max 256 USA. Very important. Now, where y'all see it says USA, that's important because if it does not say the phone was made in the USA, it is a scam. It is a fake clone phone. You can tell that before ever seeing the phone, touching the phone, feeling the phone, and it's a fake ass phone. Okay? This is why it's important. We only buy phones that are from the United States of America. If it says China, it's a clone. Now it says IMEI 1, IMEI 2, MEID, serial number. Then it tells you a bunch of different things like telephone, technical support, repair service coverage. It ends in 9 months and 16 days. The estimated purchase date was 12/6/24. Limited warranty. iCloud lock is off. Demo unit, no. Loaner device, no. Replace device, no. Replacement device, no. Refurbished device, no. Apple Care eligible, no. Valid purchase date, yes. Activation status, activated. Registration status, registered. All right, so everything seems good, and it's also locked. So it is locked. All right, it is locked. So now that we know this locked, like he said it was locked, now I know I got all my information. This website gives me all the information I need to make offers. So what I do is I pull out the calc means calculator. So I pull out the calculator and I pull out the picture for the price list. And I know, okay, so this person is the iPhone 16 Pro Max, 256. We know that it's worth $710. So we do $710 again minus the $50, $660 minus the $40, $620. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna grab my phone real quick and I'm gonna send him this offer. Okay. So we're gonna send him this offer. I'm gonna do it live because I want to. Let's see. We're gonna do this live. Okay, perfect. All right. Oh, it's AT&T too. So it's locked to AT&T. AT&T is one of the worst companies ever. So if you're looking to buy a phone, don't buy AT&T. Why? AT&T won't be around for too long. They have too many security breaches, and it's word around town that they're going to be brought. I'm not going to say by who because I could get in trouble for exposing that information, and I don't want to come up missing. All right. We're going to do the next one. 3, 5, 6, 8, 7, 2, 3, 3, 7, 3, 9. Let's see. Did I put that in right? All right. iPhone 16 white. Now, from the rip, I already know iPhone 16s are trash. From the rip. I know that iPhone 16 prices are trash. This is technical support, Apple Care Plus. So that's really good. But that's weird because it says Apple Care eligible, which means it's just because it already has Apple Care. And this is an unlocked device. So I would have to go over to the phone flipping price list real quick. So we're going to go to the phone flipping price list. Okay. If you don't know about the price list, it's on hustlertaughtme.com. All right, perfect. So for the iPhone 16, used but unlocked. What can we get? It's a 256. He said it was B grade, I believe. Yeah. B grade means that it doesn't have a box, but it's pretty in pretty good condition. So market value is 470. So 470 minus 50 minus the wiggle room. So 390 is what we would offer. I don't know who I hear talking downstairs. All right. 390 for our iPhone. For our iPhone 16. Now we got a 16 Pro. Desert unlocked 128. We're going to put that IMEI in. Okay. So now that it is loading up, it says everything the same. It has Apple Care and all of that. These are some really good phones, which is really interesting. Now this is unlocked too. So that market value is 640. So we would do 640 minus 50 minus 40. 550 would be what we would offer. Mind you, that would be for us to wiggle. So we want that person to negotiate us up. We still have more room just in case, okay? But again, you never start up with your highest offer. Last phone, the iPhone 16 Plus pink, unlocked. Now, I trust this person because all of the IMEIs I ran were exactly what he wrote. So I'm not going to run this IMEI only because I can run it when I see them. And two, when you have a pattern of transparency and the person's being transparent, you don't have to run all the IMEIs. I wouldn't say you would have to because running IMEIs costs you money. Remember what our main goal is to make as much money, right? So we're not going, especially not for iPhone 16 Plus, which is worth $450 market value. So it would be 400 would be our least amount, and then we would do, yeah, let's still do 40. So then 360. Okay, 360 would be that. Okay. And then we would send the offer. And it's just like that. It is just like that. Okay? And that is literally how you would handle a quote or negotiate. Good evening. We have updated your offers on the spreadsheet. Simple. So what I'm going to do, right, is I think that I gave you guys 35 minutes of a lot of information to retain. But what I'm going to do is tomorrow, I think around 7 o'clock, we should actually reconvene. And I'll show you guys a little bit more as far as live negotiations on OfferUp. So TikTok, tap back in with me. Thank y'all so much. YouTube, come back as well. KJ, thank you so much for tuning in, bro. I appreciate you. I hope you're making money, bro, and I hope you continue to be successful. Everybody on YouTube, same exact thing. We're going to get up out of here. But thank you so much for watching. And I cannot wait to continue to grind with you guys. Peace.